Live. What's going on, guys? So, yet again, here we are on the YouTubes, on the Facebooks, bringing you another hangout. We have a newbie here, Abby. She's joining us on video for the first time. She's listened to a couple episodes. So,
Guys,
welcome.
thank you, thank you.
All righty. So, the topic for tonight's hangout is a pretty good one. We can run out of stuff really quick, so we'll kind of take our time. So, Stephen King's adaptations to film, whether they're good, whether they're bad. That's what we are going to talk about, and we're probably going to get more bad than good, I'm sure. But you know what? That's what we do. So
yeah. Well, that depends what we talk about, because
this is true.
I have mental categories as to Stephen King adaptations to film, and some of them are in the good category, and there's quite a few of them that aren't, and I've noticed there's something in common. You know,
What?
if
they all have the same person.
Well, not to get too in depth right now, because I plan on bringing it up as they talk about them. But it seems that the TV miniseries that they did back in, say, like the 90s, a lot of those I would kind of put into the bad category. You know, now don't get me wrong, I love It. That one was really good. But and The Stand had its merits, but for the most part, if it was a TV miniseries, you know, from Stephen King.
All right, look. If you're just gonna shit on the Mist, just do it and get it over with. All right, just do it and get it over with, because that's
yeah.
I've kind of
I've got to shit on it, but I'm gonna do it one at a time.
I would say I feel like that's where we're going. Is like we're going right after the Mist, like that.
Oh, the Mist. Oh, I'll let somebody else talk about the Mist.
Wonderful.
It doesn't count as a miniseries if it got canceled after the first season.
All right, you know what? That brings up here we go. Here's Mr. Logical. He'll keep us in the groove. That's what he does. Oh, what, you said something wrong? Well, Ryan will chime in. He'll get you. He'll put your ass back on track real quick. So, all right. So apparently we have people that are messaging me and I can't see them and I have no idea why. Guys, if you go to StreamYard and you sign up for an account, it asks you if you want to be seen on Facebook.
Oh.
Of course I can keep track of you all, but I prefer not to, because I'm trying to keep track of these lovely people that are in the video.
So if you just register with StreamYard, we'll be able to see your name.
Yep, exactly.
Otherwise it'll say something crazy like user account.
Like literally Facebook users is literally what it says right now. I'm like, well, let me see who that is.
It up.
Yeah.
It's like 2 billion people on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Our members. Yeah.
I will let you break the ice on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Time out. Let's let the guest of honor go first. That's
a good idea.
Let's let the newbie go first. Abby,
we'll put you on the guest of honor.
We'll put you on the spot.
All right. So I actually, credit where credit is due, Mike gave me his list that he was compiling, because like me, when you get to a certain age, you're just like, the brain goes mush.
Did he give you a spreadsheet?
Did he give you a spreadsheet?
He gave me, well, yeah, I guess it would be considered a spreadsheet. I guess the easiest way to tackle it, and I feel totally bad because but if you were on time, he could be doing this. We could start at the beginning. He has like 1970s. He has it split up by decade, which is great. And then I guess he has a list of, I don't know if these are his favorites or just things that he watched recently, but he does start with Carrie. And Carrie is one of those few movies. Like, I personally love the original. I love the book.
Me too.
I don't know why they keep remaking it. I'll still watch them because I shamelessly watch everything. But it's a great movie. You hear certain lines, people always say, oh, what's the, name a line of a movie and we'll know. And 9 out of 10 times in a day, they're all going to laugh at you going on in my head. So maybe that's more about me than, than you. But
very true.
So what are your thoughts on, so like I said, I'm new to this. So what are your thoughts? Like, do you think that Carrie is...
Oh, I mean, it's quintessential.
All right. Excellent.
Carrie is a wonderful movie.
It's a wonderful movie.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I should say, and I don't like it.
Okay.
Really?
This is what he does. So
I should be surprised by that, but I'm not.
No, but I'd like to know
tell me why. Go ahead.
Okay, honestly, I was late to the game for Carrie. I had started... I was a kid, the 90s miniseries It. Stand, Langoliers, Tommyknocker. Like Carrie was real late to the party for me, and I just
You missed the
the
window.
ending's cool. The ending's cool, but I honestly find it a bit of a chore to get through.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I respect
Yeah, that
that.
makes sense. I mean, it's biggest thing is that it's, yeah, I can definitely see if, like that right there, coming late to the game. I mean, it's I kind of agree with it. I can't deny that. It's
I think
Yeah.
it depends on where you were in your life when you saw it. I was very young and growing up in the late 70s, early 80s, having the local video store near your house, and a father that was just like, yeah, go rent something and just stay out of my hair. And my brother and I were obsessed with, as everyone, I'm sure you all were, the horror section of the local video
Wait.
store.
Whoa, what is happening?
Wait, what?
What is
What's going
happening?
on, Don?
What do you mean?
No, we're
what's
good.
happening?
We're good.
Okay.
We're good. I had a little mishap, a little flutter. I'm sorry. Abby.
Are you having a stroke, Don?
I'm having a stroke. I don't.
Let's hope
Okay.
not.
But the
See,
end
it's
of Harry
echoing. Hold
to
on.
this day is
Hold on.
Oh,
my brother jumped so hard he changed the channel when the hand came. It's like, what did you do? But
What's
Yeah.
happening here? Seriously. Oh, there we go.
it's coming from
I got
me.
it.
I'll mute when I'm not talking.
No, it was coming from me. I got it. We're good.
Okay,
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
because I don't have my earbuds yet. I'm waiting for my earbuds to arrive.
We're
Oh,
good. Go
okay.
ahead.
Cool. So,
I'm so
all
sorry.
right. Well,
Yeah.
I guess I get that. If you're used to a certain format or a time period of Stephen King film adaptations, going backwards and looking at some of the earlier ones, might be kind of like oh, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I don't know, Salem's Lot
It
still
is.
holds up for me.
Yeah, that one's not
Yeah.
bad.
Film's lot's good.
I don't know. I liked Carrie, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with Sissy Spacek. But I mean, love her. She's amazing, and she was really great in that. Her mom was
Amazing.
crazy as fuck, and
That's understatement.
that was incredible. I mean, to see that chemistry on screen. I mean, it's like I don't know. It really resonated with me. I like that. I think the ending got a little weird for me. As far as the whole underground poking hands up and grabbing people and shit. I mean, that was I didn't need all that, but all the things leading up to that I thought was wonderful. And I was able to ignore the fact that John Travolta was in that.
I know.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But you have the cat, which evens it out. It's like the
Yeah.
cat factor.
Sure.
Of course, we got Tommy Knockers is going to get brought up. I don't know how many times that in the stand. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it's. I mean, of course they're good. They're definitely good. But
Yeah.
now I don't think we needed Rage Carry 2. I mean, I don't never understood the. I mean, of course, people are going to cash in.
For Carrie, I think for me, I mean, as I've put on the site a few times on the Facebook group, I mean, it was, I think, in the first 5 films I ever saw. And so for that perspective, I've always literally, even when I was that little, I've always loved it. And I've always grown up a bit of a De Palma nut. So, it's kind of up there for me as one of the biggest favorite ones of that. But there's just so much, a lot of history in there, movie history. Like they shared auditions with Star Wars, so a lot of the shared audition process, and William Catt, the guy who played Tommy Ross, was up for Luke Skywalker, things like that. They were Amy Irving was up for Leia.
Greatest American Jedi, man.
Things like that. So, all those kind of things. And, from there, it was interesting because probably my favourite film is Phantom of the Paradise, which was De Palma's one before Carrie. And
That's a good one. That's
lot.
I don't think a lot of people have seen that movie.
A lot of the same techniques, and you can see him kind of evolve. Some of them, like the split screen effects and stuff like that in Carrie, and using the actual motion of
nice.
how they use the bucket and stuff like that, and some of the changes. But I think it was good to how they changed the structure of the book though as well, because it's all obviously in the book. It's very for those who haven't read it, it's all second hand. It's like they did a commission of it, like you would over in the States. You'd have like the commission on something that happened, because it basically destroys the whole town. What she does, and she destroys the entire town, more like in the remake with Chloe Moretz.
Right.
And she basically it's all letters and hearings and more like evidence. Yeah.
Well, that's what happens with these
Isn't that how
adaptations.
the,
Go ahead, Ryan.
So
sorry, were you talking about the book, Rob? That's all in?
yeah. The book is.
See, that's
very
weird.
much,
That's how there was a made-for-TV Carrie movie, and that's kind of that's what bookends that movie is, like the investigations and the notes and stuff that were being taken.
Yeah, and that I think
I didn't realize that was actually from the book. That's cool.
Yeah, and the whole book is like that. So I think that's why they made it, because for 90% of the film, I think it's almost like a teen comedy, isn't it? Almost, with a little bit of bullying and then it's almost whimsical in a way, and then it just flips, and that's the bit that everybody remembers. Is just the bit where it just turns and her eyes go, and it just changes on a second, and like everything changes. Her eyes go, and it's all over. And then I think there were just those lucky couple of people who just managed to get out just before, and then I mean, they must be the two who obviously give all the evidence and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like everybody else obviously dies horribly. So it's but I think it's probably De Palma's best of his early films.
Man, that's a tough one, because the man has come out with some
of his earlier films. Earlier films. But he's most accomplished to his best of his earlier films. But that's his meal ticket, one that got him to make more films. But of the early adaptations, I mean, obviously that's the one that made Stephen King movies a thing.
That's true.
But nobody got it right really until, I mean, you could say The Dead Zone, which is going to,
awesome.
That's pretty much my pick. But it'd be like until that, but then nobody really got it right till a long time later, really. So it's necessarily. So they started strong, but it proved it's not an easy formula to do.
No, it's not, and I think that it kind of goes hand in hand with some of these other adaptations. I mean, coming from a book, going to film. I mean, you can't copy it word for word because you already know what's going to happen. It's cool to see it on a big screen. It's cool to see it, happening. But you got to change something up to keep people guessing. Like Game of Thrones did it. It's just like you just got to change a couple things. But the problem is that, and I know The Shining suffered from it after hearing about it. They just kind of changed everything, and Stephen King didn't even like that adaptation. So it was like he just absolutely just obliterated it and did not like it at all. So
do its own later.
Yeah, and again, a mini series of it.
Yeah, terrible.
That they followed they followed more of the book. I'm not a fan of it, but
it's just the bad CGI that is so distracting, and it loses my love of the book, The Shining, is that creep factor, that unsettled feeling. And with that bad 90s miniseries CGI, it just pulls me right out of it. And I would much rather see a costume with a zipper up the back than see bad CGI. That's my personal opinion. Practical effects all the way. But,
yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah,
But it was early days of CGI, I guess, as well. Whereas with
big time, where it was bad.
Yeah.
I'm looking
but for the budget as well, I guess. Whereas I suppose you say that, but then you had Jurassic Park at the same time as well. So it's just different ends of the budget. Whereas if the
Oh,
movies
yeah.
had been done better, then Stephen King would have had the budget. But it's
And that goes with anything. It's like, you give somebody a, $50 million budget, man, I'll make it work. I'll give you something. But yeah, I mean, a TV movie. But again, I mean, and especially with what we're doing, with the podcast and with the group, these indie films, and Ryan can attest to it because he's seen a lot of them. I mean, you can have a shoestring budget and these movies still come out just, amazing, especially and honestly, horror movies, especially because, and we talk about it almost weekly. It's just the fact that people understand what the fans want. Like they know what people watch, and they get a $500 budget. Hell, some of these people don't even get a budget. It's a zero budget movie, and some of them they're better than most people give them credit for, and I applaud for it.
What do you
it's,
think about the
it's
miniseries?
inventiveness.
What's your favorite miniseries that they've done? Like out of all of them, what's the one you think is the best?
Out of Stephen King?
Out of the Stephen King. Like
Most people would probably say would be it. Most people would probably say it.
Mine's
I know what mine's the same as Ryan. Well, Ryan's might not be the same, but
lot with Tommy
Langoliers.
Knockers or not Tommy Knockers. Langoliers is a close
Langoliers.
second.
I love as stupid as that movie is. I love that fucking movie. Langoliers is.
What about Storm of the Century? I don't think that gets enough credit.
Clint, didn't you say Storm of the Century? Somebody brought that up the other day.
I haven't. I did not.
That one's pretty good. My least favorite. Well, I don't know if it's not a mini series. It tried to be a series. Was Under the Dome, which was, I think, because I was reading the book the same time that it was airing, and so it was so glaringly irritating. If I had done it separately, years later, maybe, but it was bad.
Well, it turned out to be Explorers. It was really frustrating.
There we go. Zeke says, think we all grew up with miniseries and Carrie. Crazy to think a master horror in his best work. Movie and book is not a horror movie or even in his name. It's a good point. It's a good point. Damn, that's a good start. So I guess I'll spin it. All right. First of all, y'all need to stop fucking leaving because y'all are throwing my thing off. I'm like, Clint left, and then Ryan
I wasn't
left.
trying to do that. My internet took a shit for some
I know.
reason.
I'm just fucking with you. I'm like, I lose track. I'm like watching everybody it's one of those puzzles that you move around.
I completely missed the last thing you talked about.
We were just talking about bullshit. Well, basically miniseries. Nothing that was very pertinent. Right. Rob, I'm gonna let you go, obviously, because you're next to me. But it's also 1 o'clock in the morning there, if I'm not mistaken.
20 past 12 at the moment. Cool. I was going to go with The Dead Zone, which was interesting at the time because it was obviously David Cronenberg, who was known mainly for body horror, and it was his first pretty much big studio outing, and the first sort of team up of body horror and Stephen King. So big director, big body horror director, big author, and Christopher Walken, who wasn't quite Christopher Walken then, but he'd was heading towards fresh off the Natalie Wood incident, or heading towards it. I'm not quite sure in which order it was, but obviously he had his little kind of incidents around that time as well. So there was quite a lot going on around that time, around sort of going on. So but yeah, I mean, it was I remember watching it the first time on TV. I think probably probably mid 80s sometime. So I'd have been about 7 or 8 maybe, and just really found it like really interesting, really good, sort of film. One of those ones where there wasn't really much violence or anything, but just a really interesting idea of, what would you do if you had that sort of gift where you could not only see the future, but change it for the better.
Yeah.
But also the interesting sort of theme of this guy who basically loses the best part of himself in a way, and every time that he uses this gift, he seems to age more, he seems to lose part of himself more, he becomes sicker, he seems to die a little bit more.
Damn, bro, that was a crunch right there. Holy shit.
Sorry. I'll mute next time.
It really does seem like he hasn't got anything to live for anyway, but he's he finds, rather than just wasting away or giving up he suddenly uses this gift and can use it to basically save the rest of the world. And it's like a really interesting, rather than just giving into the bitterness he was feeling at the start, it suddenly turns around for him in a way that he didn't expect, which I thought was really interesting as well. But it had all these really interesting side questions as well, like what would you do if you could go back in time and kill Hitler? What would you do, if you were asked to suddenly go and investigate a murder? And I thought that was probably one of the most interesting plots of it, was where literally you're there standing next to the murderer, who obviously is getting more and more nervous throughout the whole time, and it's getting more and more creepy because that he's about to get found out, and every time you watch it you find out a little bit more, and you start to feel a little bit more sympathy for the guy, because you realize that he's basically been abused his whole life by this creepy mother, and it's just like Carrie all over again. And instead of it being Carrie's mum who's abusing him and abusing her and like being ultra religious, it's this mother who's never let this guy grow up and keeps him in a bedroom with all his childhood toys and like cowboys and Indian wallpaper, and makes him probably never let him even have a girlfriend or anything like that, so he has to go out and do these things, and and there's a whole all these different things that you maybe don't read into it the first time, but all you see is obviously what you get on the screen. But there was one interesting thing that I picked up from the commentaries that I listened to recently, that there was an alternate ending they were supposed to do, which they actually were going to film, or apparently did film, where it was going to end where that chap didn't actually die, and at the end Christopher Walken would be in hospital, and he would, as he was dying, he would touch his girlfriend's hand and see her getting killed by the killer. So like, again, like a Carrie type ending, but then it would be like a false finish, and his dad would be there to save her, because he would have just managed to tell his dad before he died that what he'd seen, and it would be like a bit of a Carrie false finish. So I was kind of glad they didn't use that one, because it the way it finished with Martin Sheen. But I think he was him and Christopher Walken in that, they're two really, really good
Powerhouses.
Performances. And it's just really scary how it seemed to, politics aside, it just seemed to really you know, almost really foretell a little bit, you know, just how, you know, they had a lot of, you know, both sides of the Atlantic, how things seem to go, you know, maybe 15, 25 years later, you know, it just seemed to really, you know, resonate. But Martin Sheen as Stilson's really, really creepy. Without having to do again like he does in the book, where he's like kicking dogs to death and you know things like that, and just being overtly nasty and you know really you know odious. He's just the right side of smarmy, where he you know you could imagine him. And even when you've got a guy like Anthony Zerbe, who normally plays villains. And even when he's like sort of saying, this guy's dangerous, and you're kind of like, okay, this guy's normally a villain, and he's telling me this guy's a little bit odd. You know,
Yeah.
it's like that's when you know
we got a problem here.
Yeah, but and I mean, I think as well the other bit with Christopher Walken that like just apart from the ice is going to break, which is like obviously the line everyone remembers. Is the bit when he obviously breaks down when the girl comes to the door again, and obviously it's a little bit inappropriate, you know, kind of hugging a 12-year-old kid and breaking down, you know, kind of. But that little bit of acting there is kind of like really quite good. But
no
yeah,
doubt.
it wouldn't really fly today. But
That's true.
just the way he handles that, you know, it's like that little bit of like, yeah, my life is really, really, really shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you know, the whole I think the way the whole film plays out, it makes it overall one of my favourites. Compared to the book, you know, they added a whole lot of different. And I think they did with the TV show as well. They added in stuff like where he had a brain tumor when he was a kid and things like that, which they didn't really need.
No, the TV
And
great for like the first 2 seasons, and they probably could have just a lot of filler going on.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And you know, there's another TV series that reminds. So, Quantum Leap seemed like it may have taken a page from that. Maybe not to that extreme, but you know how Scott Bakula would go back in time, trying to get back to his own time, but he'd always wind up helping somebody or changing events somewhere.
Right.
It just kind of feels like it may have taken just a page out of that book.
yeah,
But yeah,
I can see that.
Dead Zone gets brought up so much just because, I mean, of course, Stephen King's movies, you know, they have their stars, you know, like, I mean, you know, Tim Curry, you know, Fred Gwynn with Pet Semetary, but it just didn't feel like, it just felt like the performances and actors that were in there were like, it just felt like they were above and beyond. Like you got Christopher Walken, Anthony Michael Hall, you know, Martin Sheen. It's like, this is kind of nuts. Like this is people that normally don't deal with these kind of movies or these kind of series. And then, you know, you see them in there and it's like, man, that's a legit cast. I mean, it's,
But then Sheen did 2 in a row, didn't he? Because he did Firestarter as well. So
Yep. So yeah, I mean, it's it gets that. I mean, that's on definitely in top 5 out of any adaptation Stephen King did. That's probably top 5 out of anybody's list. I would probably say, just because it's just solid. It's
and I think
tight
the backup
story.
cast as well. I mean, you got your Tom Skerritt, you've got your Herbert Lom.
Tom Skerritt's awesome.
It's gonna meet him in a couple months.
Trying to think
I don't have my.
Trying to think who else.
I need to get my MD pulled up so I can.
I think he's at the one. When I fly back to London in a couple of weeks, I think he's at the one in London. But I'm not
Jump
going to be
scare?
able to make it. Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to actually do it. But
That monster.
there's a load of
Monster
people.
Mania. Yeah,
Yeah,
Abby's going. I guess you're going to Monster Mania, right, Abby?
Yeah, I am.
Guess we'll see you there.
but yeah, it's frustrating because yeah, they got like Robert England doing the full Freddy thing and all that sort of things. It's probably like last chance to ever do it, but I just can't
Okay,
get off a plane.
I love
one day
Robert
and do
England.
it.
Love Robert England, but that man's lines are insane.
Insane.
Me and Clint went to Monster Mania one time, and we were standing in line, and we were like, "Yeah, we're getting in." That was Robert England's line. Oh, you got to go over here. I'm like, "Fuck, are you talking about? This is going out to the parking lot." Oh, that's Robert England's line.
Yo.
Get in is over here. I'm like, "Well, fuck, I'm just gonna get back in the car."
Yeah,
Well, this is it. I can't get on off a plane and do that.
Right.
And that's right. Brooke Adams played the girlfriend.
Yeah,
It's got a solid cast.
Invasion.
It has a solid cast. Clint, where the hell you at? Are you still there? You crunching, munching? Yeah, he is.
I'm here.
So, Dead Zone. You brought up Dead
Just
Zone
a
on.
heads up, my phone's about to die, so I might disappear for a bit.
That's fine,
Oh,
man.
I got you, man.
We'll be here for at least another 5 hours.
There's a lot of ways to go.
Yeah, we got a lot of movies to go. So,
Yeah.
I think you brought up the Dead Zone a couple times,
I
Clint.
love the Dead Zone. I've read the book, I've watched the movie, and sometimes it's been a while since I've seen the movie, so a lot of times the two things blur together. So, Rob, you had mentioned feeling sorry for the that killer guy who basically got treated so poorly from his mother. But in the book, I'm pretty sure he like abused and killed children. So like,
We don't feel for him.
so like I'm like fuck that guy, you know.
but again, but again, it's like I think the way he's portrayed in the films are quite different.
Yeah, I don't
the
think they
book.
did that in the movie. So it's like the wheels were spinning while you were talking. I was like, son of a bitch, like really? Like we feel bad for this guy?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wait, no, I'm getting them confused. I have a crossover between the movie and the book. But great movie. It was one of those few film adaptations from a book that I didn't mind. You know, a lot of times, you know, I have this problem where it's like I read the book and I think that's amazing, and then there's a film adaptation of it, and then I just dump all over it because I'm like, it's nothing like the book, you know, and it's and you have to understand you can't do that. There's no way to accurately adapt all the things that you loved about the book into a film. You have to really, you know, append that and narrow it down to things that you can show on screen and things that you can, you know, accurately describe, and you lose a lot. So most of the time when I see a film based on a book, I'm like, yeah, that movie sucks. And then
Claire agrees with you 100%.
Yeah. Well, of course she does. I love her.
Oh, Jesus.
She's
Here
awesome.
we go. Here we go.
Oh, man. Mr. Spreadsheet himself.
You know you want my spreadsheet. Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, you know, the rest of us do. Apparently somebody already has it.
Everybody
Yeah,
gave you credit, man. I said I was looking at your spreadsheet.
There is no way I'm having
spreadsheets are like love. You got to share them.
It's bad enough I got one. I'm not having two.
Yeah.
I will absolutely not have two people do spreadsheets. I'm not doing it.
Right.
If Nicole shows up, I gave her mine too.
Dude, it's not a fucking football pool. Stop.
Did you see? I showed down what I did to Nicole. Well, it was her own. She showed me her list, and it was for the final girls, and it was savage. It was written. It was all sloppy. I was at work. I was like, send me your list.
Savage.
Oh, it was horrible.
Interesting way to put that.
I said, we can't bring this to the cat. I was like,
yeah, we have standards here, man.
I was like, sure. I said, being I was on overtime, I was like, send it over and I'll pick a nice spreadsheet for you. And when it got to I forgot what movie it was, but the actress was.
Can I send you my list for a spreadsheet?
Sure.
Would that work? Okay, cool.
Stop with the fucking list. Stop with the fucking spreadsheets. If you
her
can't
list
figure
had,
it out, I'm doing all this on. I have nothing in front of me. The only thing I have is the chat, and I have 3 screens now. I have
I'm an
the
old
chat,
man. I forget.
nothing
I
over
need
here.
my sheets.
We got Don,
No,
Mr.
I don't-
Memory over here.
I
Yeah,
have memory.
really.
I just I don't. God damn
I have an
it.
incurable brain disease. Don't mock me.
Yeah.
She
have a
Nicole had
tumor.
an act. She had Jada Pinkett Smith on it, so I didn't even tell her. But instead of putting Jada Pinkett Smith, I was like, "Keep my wife's fucking name out of your mouth."
That was fucking funny,
And I
dude.
said, "Let her see if she notices it."
That was fucking funny. That was great.
I should have wrote, "Keep my wife's name off your damn spreadsheet."
Yeah, that should have been. That should be your fucking name. That should have been your name. Anyway, welcome without a doubt. So, let's see. We've covered. Have you listened or anything?
No.
All right. So we covered the dead zone. We just hit the dead zone. Again, that's going to be on everybody's list.
Yeah, that's on
Carrie,
the
we
back.
hit,
Yeah, Carrie.
and somebody brought up was Storm of Century, or were we
Well,
just
were
talking to that in passing?
One of the
Okay, so we've only hit 2. So I mean, you're kind of right on time, man. So, Rob had his. See, I'm going to move y'all's asses around. Rob's ass is over here. Clint's ass is over here.
Okay.
That looks better. Okay.
That's it. All right.
Yeah, I guess. I don't fucking know. I don't want to play Hollywood Squares tonight.
Where's CBR?
He's at a flea market. He's
gonna pop in and out. He's using his phone and he was looking for his
Abby, you'll learn
earbuds.
you'll learn the abbreviations and everything like that with people. CBR is Canadian Boy Ryan.
Yeah.
I remember the initials. Wasn't CBR with somebody else with 3 initials?
He was with his brother Clint?
I want to say yes.
I think it was his brother.
Yeah.
Just remember a lot of
true.
it.
Yeah.
Abby, you are an avid fan. I love it.
Your memory is good because I forgot about that.
Clint, you forgot what you ate for fucking breakfast. So.
No,
But-
I remember I didn't eat breakfast. So
See that, and that's. I'm
That's
sorry.
why you remember.
I couldn't even make an argument out of that. I tried. Anyway, let's stay on topic. Let's see. So, yeah, Claire said it looks more like the Brady Bunch intro. I agree, my dear. It definitely looks like the Brady Bunch intro. Let's see. Well, Clint, did you go?
no,
Okay.
no, I didn't.
So we'll let you go, and then we'll go to Mr. Spreadsheet.
I don't know. I feel weird putting this one out there with the stuff I'm going to say about it because I think a lot of people like it.
Okay.
I was going to throw out the Tommyknockers miniseries. And again, what I just brought up with reading a book and liking it and then having an adaptation to screen done of it. And then you're like, what are they doing? This one, a lot got lost in translation for me when they adapted it from the book to, a television miniseries. They needed to do a television miniseries. I just didn't like what they did with it. Nothing wrong with Jimmy Smits. He's always awesome, but I don't know. We got, I was hoping for more of like the digging up of the alien spacecraft, and just they built up. Stephen King built up a lot of suspense with that, where just the process of digging it up and trying to figure out what the thing was, and you didn't really get that in the miniseries, and you couldn't. There was it would have been very difficult to try to do that, with what I mean. That's not the written page. You can use your imagination for a ton of things, but having something visual to look at and feeling the same way about it's not really possible. So it was just disappointment because of my own expectations going into it, and I thought it was really weird the way they ended it.
That's a good. There's a good one right there. Boom. Yeah, Claire. I feel if you read and love the book, as you said, it's so different. 90% comes short to the book.
Yeah.
It just didn't even feel like, and I think out of anything with that one, I think that it was shown so much on TV. USA showed it, TNT showed it. I think even TBS showed it. Any of the Turner Broadcast had it.
Yeah.
But it was just. Yeah, the mark was just missed with it. And again, nothing against, like Jimmy Smits, love Jimmy Smith.
Yeah.
Dude's amazing.
There was just so much, that was written into that. Like we're talking about, like gelatinous looking, like translucent, like tentacles coming out of people, and it's like there was no way they were going to be able to do that.
No.
So like my vision of what this was would never agree with what they could do.
One I would like them to consider remaking
Yes.
with technology the way it is.
Sure. Yeah. In fact, a
with-
lot of these, which we'll get into, but yeah, a lot of these could use that makeover, but
Not Firestarter, but let's
not.
not.
Yeah. Mike, I need you to back up from your fucking camera because God, Jesus,
I'm trying
I
to-
love seeing your fucking nose.
Yeah,
hair.
yeah.
I mean,
We were
No,
counting your
I
nose
keep
hairs
thinking
there.
My niece or nephew fucked with the computer because it's
Uh-oh.
really bright. It's never this way.
Oh,
Oh,
you were
my.
definitely bright boy.
I'm trying to
so.
figure it out. Really.
No, Tommy Knockers is like I said, I think it was just so. I guess it was just publicized. Honestly,
Oh.
I don't want to say publicized, but it was televised a lot. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's
But lackluster to me, considering it is a very good written story, and I find that the miniseries is somewhat forgettable. I sat down and watched it recently before I knew you guys were doing this, and I didn't end up watching it, which is a shame because I still have yet to rewatch it all these years later.
Yeah.
yeah. And Claire, I love Claire Clint. You know that
I
she
do know
brings up
that.
so much stuff.
We all love her.
It would not transfer on screen. Till now. I mean,
Yeah. This would be a good time to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
right now. I mean, if you're going to do it, I mean, and that's the thing is like, that's something that that's always bothered me is the fact that these directors, these writers, they have to fuck with things that have already worked. You redid Pet Semetary. Why even bother with that? You're not going to recapture Fred Gwynn with John Lithgow, as amazing as that dude is.
Right.
There was just something about you don't go down that road. The way he says it and the way it's just that personification, you can't replicate it. And it goes with a lot of these. I mean, The Shining, Jack Nicholson, so hard to pull that off.
Oh.
And it's a shame because you just don't have. I don't know. I almost want to say you don't have the respect for those movies because, now they're remaking Salem's Lot, and I'm like, guys, what the fuck are you doing?
But why? I don't.
There's so many other ones that need to be remade.
Could benefit from it, and
Yeah.
But then I suppose because you've had it be successful,
right
now Blumhouse have got the keys, they've got the money, they can do it. They've got the 2-movie thing down to say no, they can maybe get 2 movies out of Salem's Lot. They know they've got that prequel thing they can use as well. They can throw bits around that.
I just don't like that because, again, and Claire again. God, Claire, I love you. If it's not broken, don't break it. That's the thing. It's like
kick it while it's down.
Yeah, it's just like I guess.
Like Firestarter. Sorry, said it again.
No, that's twice.
I'm
Easy.
mad.
I have to mute your ass next time because they're gonna flag us. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That movie fucking sucks. No, I mean it comes down to it's that formula. Like there's certain things that you can't touch, and I guess the Stephen King thing has just I guess that's the bastard.
But also, I suppose you've got.
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, sorry. You've also got these, these bright young things like Zac Efron and stuff who feel like they can. I want to redo Firestarter. I fancy. They watch it and think, "Oh, I can be David Keith. I can do that." And they can get it made. And and then somebody watches Jason Clarke and think, "Oh, well, he'll be good. He can do a Pet Semetary," and they can, kind of get it made with him, and they don't have to pay him as much money, and because they're not A-listers, and it's a name, it's an IP, it gets it out there quick, relatively quick turnaround, and again, it's that thing. Stephen King will he'll still let people make them. He still gets paid. He's not shy about it, is he?
No,
he's not going to turn it down.
Man's come out numerous times and said, anytime these adaptations get made, I make money. I mean, yeah, he has not been shy about that at all. And
He's a bit like
Rob, you
Carpenter.
bring up a good point too, Rob. But you had It. So when the first part of It came out, that just absolutely blew everybody away. But you notice when the second part of it came out, Chapter 2, it did not have the same feeling as the first one. I mean, it wasn't even close. It just felt like that missed the mark because it was, again, like you said, you have these people that take movies that have been a miniseries, have been 3 hours long, and now you're making them into 2 or 3 movies, and it just doesn't work that way because these people don't understand. You're taking a series that was, it was 3 hours long, 4 hours long, and now you're turning them into 2 movies, and now there's a third one coming out, and it's like now all you're doing is you're cash grabbing. That's all you're doing now. You're taking the name and you're grabbing the popularity that you have of the first one, but I know damn well the third one's just not going to be as good as
it's
the
not
first
like
one.
to go back and add all the stuff from the book that they didn't put in the first 2. So they're going to make a story out of something that doesn't exist and hope they force feed us. We're going to like it. And chances are I might, because I'm predisposed to like it. But
no, and that's not your fault though. That's just how that works. It's like the filler of it because you like the story. You like it. And that's the thing. And I think that's where a lot of these directors and these producers and these studios, they just know how, just like with you, Abby, they're like, you like the story. Well, now we're going to grab her and we're going to bring her in. She's watched the first one, this second one. She's probably going to watch the third one.
Every ever was.
I mean, I'll make the point now because I'm not sure when it will come up again. But I think the biggest issue they had with those was that they didn't set it all up at the start and cast everybody together.
Right.
So what they did, they made the first one, then they cast the adults, and that was the major problem. And it was like you were trying to match up people after the fact, and it was like, okay, everybody's saying Jessica Chastain was the right person, but it's like it was Bryce Dallas Howard. It was obvious, and you're like, that joined up thinking of actually saying, look, let's get everybody in filming at the same time, the adults and the kids, like the first one, and get them interacting and meeting each other and
learning
and actually, and then it would have worked. But because they didn't do that, that's where it fell down. And they literally made 2 entirely different movies, and it was never going to work that way.
Hit that right on the head. And that's been one thing that I've said to people is that if you're gonna take a movie that was a miniseries, then just do the whole fucking thing. If the miniseries was 4 hours long, make the fucking movie 4 hours long. Get it out of the way. Breaking it up does not do you any favors. I understand the whole the money thing. I get it. I understand it. But you have to understand the other side of the coin is that if you want people to watch your movies, you don't have to have part 1 through 8. Friday the 13th has proven that numerous times when people watch the first 4 and stop. Now, again, we have people that like 5, 6, 7, 8. I get it. I like 8. But it's just the fact is that, we know. It's just the fact that it's like with the miniseries, you just have to either it's all or nothing because you lose so much luster, again, when you, and that's what was so great about the miniseries was, you had the kids, you had the adults. It was all one thing. It was all one production. And I know things have changed, obviously,
But I think as well, it was more that if you're going to have the sequels come out within 2 years of each other, then there's no excuse not to at least be thinking that way and have, everybody cast and at least meeting each other and, thinking that way. because
Continuity's a big
they're
thing,
meant
man.
to
When
be
you don't
each
have,
other. Yeah,
especially
they're
with
meant to be
actors.
each other.
Yeah, I
If
totally
it's
agree.
Harry Potter and it's going to be 10 years before, then it doesn't matter so much. But, it's going to be another 10 years before you're going to make a sequel to adulthood, or it doesn't make a difference. But if they're going to be that close together, it's just short-sightedness. And they, it's just, or we want to make one, and if it doesn't do anything, then we're not going to bother with a second. And it's just hedging their bets. And or if we can't make enough money, we're not going to cast McAvoy. We're going to go really low budget. And
I love McAvoy, but he distracted me in that movie. I think
Thank
because
you.
he kept going, it's James McAvoy, and I would have preferred that I know so well, and in my mind, but
No,
it just threw
you
me a
make-
bit.
Yeah, you make a God. That's such a good point. Star power sometimes
It goes
does
again.
not. It doesn't do you any favors because you're like, how did they get? Like, you just sit here and you think like, how the fuck is James McElroy in this movie? Like, and then you just sit there and like, that's James McElroy. He was in X-Men. He was in Split. He was in these movies.
Penelope. Sorry, that was
Yeah,
funny.
but you start to think it's like,
Yeah,
you know,
I feel that
but
way.
it's the same with Chastain as well.
yeah. Oh well, I mean that's without warrant, man. I mean Chastain is on a whole nother level. But I mean, yeah, go ahead, Abby.
Claiborne, Misery, like Kathy Bates can do anything. She could be in 10 of his movies and be an amazing character, and she won't distract me because I think she's just such a character actor.
Yeah,
and so good. I mean, I know people don't love Dolores Claiborne, but I think it's so comparable to the book. I personally think it's a very well done movie, and I love her.
I just read recently that she said that that's her best role. She considers that her best role. Even
Dolores-
more than Misery.
Wow.
Dolores Claiborne.
And with Misery being such a good movie, I read the book before I saw the movie, but they get all the book, you can hear the tonality of the character, and she does such an amazing job because he writes it that way with the specific words and inflections that she uses. Kathy Bates is she's my goat, man. She's so good.
she's on another level without a doubt. I mean, even like one of my mom's favorite movies was Fried Green Tomatoes. I absolutely love that
Mulder
movie.
and I got better insurance. I used that one day.
Yep.
And she
Yep.
could do like totally opposite. There was a show on Netflix for a while where she owned like a weed shop.
Yes.
And it was hysterical. She was great.
Yeah.
She
I love
goes
amazing.
from like one end to the spectrum to the other.
It's hard to do. I mean, a lot of these, and man, and Abby, you bringing up James McElroy, that just really like got the wheels turning. Like,
Yeah,
you don't have that. You didn't have that back then. Like, you had Jack Nicholson. Obviously, it was like, okay, you have Jack Nicholson, but nobody like freaked out about it.
Right.
But like then like say like Dr. Sleep came out, and then it was like, oh my God, we got Ewan McGregor. Holy fucking shit! Like, it's like, guys.
Yeah, he's not. Again, I love Ewan McGregor, but I don't know that I would have chosen him as that role in Dr. Sleep. Although I would preface by saying I think that Mike Flanagan did a fucking fantastic job with that movie and the hurdles that he had to go through, the difference between the book and the movie to incorporate all those things from both Shinings and make it cohesive for people that either had not read the book or had only read the book. So sorry, I know I digress.
No, God Almighty, that's a great point. I mean, without a doubt, because they mentioned that in Dr. Sleep, with the Overlook Hotel blowing up. If you didn't read the book, you would have no idea.
Exactly.
Literally no idea about that.
So he bridged those two gaps in such a cool way. And do I think that I left out? Yeah, there was parts of Dr. Sleep that disappointed me because I really did enjoy that book a lot. I get that the same thing. Unless you're going to have a 4-hour-long movie, you can't always put everything in there. But with Abra, there was just so much that they completely left out with their relationship and everything else that I thought could have opened the door for something cool later, but
No, you're
What do
right on that. But again, that would have fallen under that same trap of, do we need a third Shining movie? We don't. We just don't. And I've completely lost track of where the fuck we're at. Clint, was it you that brought it up? You
What?
did the last one?
If you had
Yes,
a
it was
spreadsheet,
fun.
you wouldn't have lost track.
Shut the fuck up, Mike. Spreadsheets suck. I don't like Excel. I don't fucking like it. So I don't care. It was Clint. I got it. Clint did the last one. Now it's your ass. Go.
you're it.
God. I done threw you off now. Go, Mike.
Oh, me? I thought you said Clint.
No, Clint
Oh.
went. Now it's your turn.
I'm mad because CBR isn't here because he took a big dump on this week.
Oh my God!
Look, my shirt, Christine. It's
Oh,
not only my favorite King, but one of my favorite movies ever.
God
Another
damn.
Talking about remaking that I don't understand.
Yeah, there's some things, just leave it alone. Christine,
Leave it alone. It's a perfect movie.
I mean, not
For
only
what-
am I a horror guy, I'm a car guy, so that's
Yeah.
got the best of both worlds in it for me. And
Yeah, you got to
Holds
remake
up. Still
yeah.
a great movie.
You're gonna remake a Carpenter movie. I mean, who's gonna do that? We're
Yeah,
gonna have
it's-
Rob Zombie do this one too.
you know, and
I'm muting you for at least 5
What?
seconds. Let's see. 5. Yeah. Don't bring that motherfucker's name up in here when we're talking about Stephen King. Jesus.
and it wasn't nothing
Isn't it-
spectacular. It was just a great, solid movie. I love the cars in the movie.
It was a great movie. Was a phenomenal movie. I mean,
And I met Moochie at Monster Mania, and I forgot to pay him.
okay,
So-
Malcolm Daenerys does not need any money. If you forgot to
You
pay him, I'm
bet.
pretty sure.
I
He's
met
okay.
him and the guy that played Buddy Repperton, and they signed. I mean, him just started talking, and he signed my thing, and we were yapping, and I walked away, and like later that day, I was like, I don't think I ever paid that guy. I was like, oh.
Well, I really hope that they don't watch our show because now you're going to pay those motherfuckers.
No, he lost his chance.
They were very cool.
And do you know who he
Yes.
is? Moochie is the father of the Frogers in European Vacation.
Oh my God! Thank
never
you,
knew
Mike,
that.
for the random fucking shit like that. Like,
Well,
where
no,
does
I only knew because he had pictures of the Frogers there, and I'm like, and he looked and he saw me look. He goes, "Yes, that's me." He goes, "Nobody realized that's me."
I
was
love
like-
it.
Moochie is in the Frogers. Is part of the Frogers.
I love it. You know, the other thing I love about Christine too is that, other than maybe like Kelly Preston, maybe there's really not a lot of like big names in that movie for a Carpenter movie. And I would have, I mean, obviously a Carpenter movie, you would have thought, Adrian Barbeau would have been somewhere, Tom Atkins would have been somewhere, Hal Holbrook would have been somewhere. But that was what was cool about this one. Yeah. You didn't have, Keith Gordon, John Stockwell. I mean, not household names. So, and again, like we said earlier, sometimes not having that star power
I
makes
think
it
this
better.
was more of a director for hire, though, wasn't it? Rather than a. So I don't think he had that kind of control where he could bring his own people in.
Right.
He just had to do what the studio wanted, and they had all the casting power and.
Yep. And
stuff
it worked,
like that.
and it worked out. I mean, it did. It's one of those rare times when it worked out. Yeah, this is one movie that I've seen so many people want to remake or make a sequel or something. It's like, guys, look, if you
Isn't it the same-
remake this, don't do it.
Isn't it the same guy who did it who's directing it? Didn't I say?
If it was, I would not have that much of a problem with it. But it's still just one of those movies that you don't need to.
What's the point? Why?
I mean,
Why?
Andy did a good job. I mean, without a doubt, the director for it.
Yeah.
Andy Muschietti. He did a great job. I mean, don't get me wrong on that. He did a great job.
Yeah.
But there's just some. That's like if you remake fucking Jaws, and Clint knows out of anybody on this entire video, if somebody remakes Jaws, and I will tell you this on camera, I will fucking kill you. You do not need to remake that movie,
I was
and I don't
just
care
about
how
to say
you do
that,
it.
Like,
100%.
don't
Like, don't do it.
That's my movie. Don't fuck with it.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no need because they've tried over and over again, and it just sucks.
Oh, it's Brian Fuller.
Oh,
just-
Brian Fuller's making it.
oh, he's making the remake for Christine.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, who did Hannibal. So
I can okay. Again,
I like
I'll
him.
give anybody a shot. I'll give anybody a chance.
you know, that guy can make food.
Yeah.
You know, in Hannibal, you know, like into like a porn thing. Then he can
Yeah.
make a guy falling in love with his car.
That's
You
true.
You know,
All right.
kind of.
That I'll give you props on that one without a doubt. Without a
Yeah.
doubt. So well, yeah, I mean,
I hope they
Christine
use
was just
a
good movie.
I hope they use a 1978 Pinto this time.
Jesus. The movie's going to be like 20 minutes fucking long then.
Just a
They said the car they were going to use, and it was really lame. I was like, don't use it. It was. I forgot what it
Big
was.
Jetta, you know
I was like, just don't do it.
Mike,
It's-
you see the picture I took with the car? I snuck under the rope and I laid
I
down.
was
car.
there when you did it.
Oh, that was were you guys
I was actually
there when you
right
when,
there when you did that.
Was that at Oaks?
that was Oaks,
Yes,
wasn't
at
it?
Oaks.
Okay,
We were
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
took a
'cause
picture of that car.
Wasn't that the one with the
I didn't lay on the ground though.
Under
Michael
that
Myers
car.
station wagon one. That had Michael Myers station
All
wagon,
right.
didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was there
Yes.
too.
What do you say? You would lay on the ground with your
So
wiener
I
out?
snuck under the rope
Don't
when
you
no
say,
one was
Clint?
around. I laid under the car and they took my picture and then I snuck out real fast.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Clint said he would lay under the car with his wiener out. I'm pretty sure that's what he just said.
Oh, of course. Something
I mean,
like
I
that.
would.
I think
guess
I saw that.
That's kind of what I was saying.
We're podcast buddies, man. We're going. We're both there. No, I mean, yeah, Christine. Yeah, that's. But again, I mean, out of
If you're going to remake it,
out of
at
any of the
least
movies
get
that were
Keith
made,
Gordon.
let's understand who the director of this movie is. It's John fucking Carpenter. John Carpenter can sneeze and make $1 million fucking dollars. So, the fact that it had John Carpenter, I mean, let's face it, he's made more good movies than bad movies. We're not going to mention vampires. We're not going to mention Ghosts of
Ha.
Mars. Not doing it.
Never seen Ghost from Mars.
It's a weird fucking movie. It's
Well,
cool to watch though.
It's just-
But it's just the fact that I think out of any of the Stephen King,
If Ryan
know-
Joyner was here,
if Ryan Joyner was here, he would be
he'd
obliterating.
be
me.
talking up Ghosts of Mars.
Ghosts of Mars with
so
Ice
much.
Cube. Thank you, Ryan Joyner. I'm kind of glad you're not here. I know, Mike, that's your best friend, but only because he agrees with a lot of shit.
Yeah,
But,
he took a big dump on Christine out of nowhere. I was like, what?
That son of a bitch.
He took a big dump on Carrie earlier. He was like, I fucking hate that. I was late to the party.
He
I'm
did.
like,
He said he hates that movie. I
Shoo,
couldn't
boy.
believe it.
you know, Clint, I was really
Uh.
surprised he wasn't like, well, I hated that one, but I love the sequel. I probably would have booted him. Good chance would have booted him.
Yeah.
But no, I
If
mean,
you're going to remake it, at least get Carpenter on the score and get Keith Gordon to direct it. That's got to
Yeah.
be fair.
yeah, without a doubt. With that, I would definitely agree with you on that one, man. I mean, again, out of any of the adaptations, aside from maybe like a handful, you know, Christine was definitely like just Carpenter knew how to do it. He just
Mhm.
knew what needed to be done, and he did it, and did it in spectacular fashion. It's a real shame that, you know, the movie didn't win anything. I mean, it got nominated. It got nominated for like best horror film, but lost. And then it was in another film festival that, you know, was going to be the grand prize again, best movie, and lost. And it was like, I don't know what won, but just looking at the nominations and stuff, I'm like, like I said, I mean, it's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's pretty damn close for, you know, a Stephen King based upon the novel by. It's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn close. So yeah, Christine, 100% agree. Definitely a good one. Now, it's my turn.
I've been waiting for this.
Oh well, but I don't know if I can get away with mine because it was kind of written off and, you know, didn't want anything to do with it. But God damn it, Lawnmower Man.
Oh,
Oh,
The theaters.
I love that movie. That movie is incredible.
If ever there was a movie that was way different than the story,
I mean, that is it. That is it.
Before you talk about it, let me paint the picture here.
Please do.
From what I remember about it, it was a short story, in one of his like anthology books, and the only thing I remember is somebody like hiring a lawn mowing service, and like this dude shows up, and like the lawnmower is like mowing the grass ahead of him, and the dude is like naked in the backyard, like crawling on his hands and knees, like eating the grass after the lawnmower moves. Somehow dude ends up dead in a bird bath. I don't know what happened, but that is all I remember about it. And like,
what else do you need to remember
like that?
What else do you need to remember? I mean,
yeah, that's it.
Fuck.
That's all you need to remember.
I mean, and again, you know, before I get obliterated on Facebook, just saying, you know, the movie has absolutely jack shit. Thank you, Adam, for bringing it up. It has jack shit to do with the book. I mean, zero. There was no VR in the book, which was like 60% of the fucking movie. So obviously, but just the fact that it had Stephen King's name on it in title only. That fucking movie was wild. I mean, was wild. Especially the fact it came out in 1992 and had, you know, Pierce Brosnan in it. Jeff Fahey was in it. And it was like unlike anything you had ever seen before. It was like, holy shit. Like, what is this? Because VR wasn't a thing yet, not to that point, but it was like, you know, people making out in fucking VR and their faces melting together. It was like, what the fuck am I like, what is this? What? I need to be on drugs to watch this. And Adam, yes,
it was 92. I was on drugs, so yeah.
That's true. That's true. I guess I was kind of too. So, and Adam brings up a really good point. So this did turn into a franchise, which went off the fucking cliff.
Like, I can't see his comment.
Oh, sorry.
Matt Frewer.
Oh.
Yeah. Drive that fucking car off a cliff. I mean, it just, the really bad thing was, even the 92.
Oh, you mean ride the lawnmower off the cliff?
Yeah, drive the lawnmower. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate that. Drive your John fucking Deere off the cliff.
Right.
Or do like in Tremors, just put the fucking rag on the thing and just let it drive.
Stampede!
Yep, stampede right off the cliff. So, yeah, it turned into a franchise, which...
R.I.P. Fred Ward.
Oh, yes, R.I.P. Fred Ward. God, what a loss. Yeah, just like another one of those movies that they just try to cash grab. And I don't even know what you're trying to cash grab. I mean, again, it was the Lawnmower Man. It was New Line Cinema. It was 1992. It was VR. I mean, and then the VR got worse. That was the bad thing. Like, your VR was in the first one was incredible. Then the second and third one, I think it was 2 and 3. I think there was a third one.
I never saw the second or the third.
You know, and thank God for that. Because you
Small favors.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you know, it's like budget when you can't afford to bring Jeff Fahey back, so you bring Matt Frewer in to replace him. You know what I mean?
Rob literally
Trash can man.
Just explained what the whole fucking problem of that franchise was. If you can't afford to bring Jeff Fahey back, you have a problem without a shadow of a doubt, because he's probably not that busy. I'm sure he'll be in
they could have afforded him.
I'm pretty sure he will be waiting for a phone call.
He probably read the script and he said,
no, he's right. I get the Max Headroom thing, but then you cast him from the beginning. You know, it's like, that's logic. But
Right. It's like, okay, guys. Yeah, so the first one was great. And I'm not going to recommend a second or third one. Watch the first one. Again, it's a title only, but I could not let this conversation go without bringing up Lawnmower Man. Could not do it. So we're going to go back to Abby, because you're in the Brady Bunch next to me. So
nice. Okay. So I don't know if I should talk about favorites or ones that are just so ridiculous. I'm looking at you, Running Man. Like, it's a fun, ridiculous movie, but it's so. I almost want them to remake that the way the movie should have been made, and not as a. I don't know. Like, I'm torn on that because I love Running Man as a movie, and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger ridiculousness, the wrestling, and
Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson.
Yes.
But it's really such a dark concept, and honestly, with the last 5 years of our lives here, I really feel like we are one step away from the Running Man in real life, the way we are with reality TV and skewed views on this guilty until proven innocent lifestyle that we lead. And once the media gets hold of things, and I just feel like they could do something with that. But, it takes a special kind of man to wear spandex in a...
With an Adidas logo.
What was...
It's like pre-Hunger Games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Fuck up. Don't
Yeah.
oh my god. Oh my god. Why?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a sucker for the old 80s King. Children of the Corn. I love that movie. I love it. Every time I go near a cornfield, I'm he wants you too, Malachi. I can't help it.
That's true. It's very true.
It's no Sharks of the Corn, but it's good.
Yeah, Sharks. Yeah.
Oh boy. God damn.
Looking at
Don't. God damn. Why do you?
Running Man-
I feel
Running
like you
Man's a
bring
good
that up
flick.
at least once every time we do this, and it just. I know I just need to rip that Band-Aid off and just leave it off because Sharks of the Corn was fucking painful, but it's okay. It's okay.
You told Rebecca it was your favorite movie.
Ever? Was I drunk? I probably was.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah, that
like
would make sense.
something. Just I like when there's little Easter eggs that for people that read the books that they put in there that if you didn't read the book it would mean nothing to you. But in the books, Dolores Claiborne and Gerald's Game, there's a crossover during the eclipse, and I like that in both movies they kind of touched on it ever so briefly. And that's just, to me, that was like a little nod that made me happy because I happen to really enjoy both of those books. I wasn't sure how they were going to do Gerald's Game because it's kind of hard to do a movie where somebody's just legit chained to a bed for the whole thing.
That movie was fucking nuts.
I thought it was
Insane.
fantastic. I really thought, I didn't love what they did with God, what's his name? Claire.
Shit. Oh,
That you know what I'm talking about.
We have IDB.
Corner.
Yeah,
I still can't. I had him pronounce his name for me 8 times, and I'm just not.
Is that the Bruce Greenwood?
No, now Bruce Greenwood, I thought did a great job.
He did.
For being dead shortly thereafter.
We're talking about Carol
Struiken.
Struiken. On that note, I'm going to the bathroom because I just butchered that guy's name.
Yeah, I know. And like I said, I met him. He's a lovely man. I made him say his name over and over again. But that scene in the book for that character, for the Moonlight Man, legit kept me up at night because everybody had that moment when you're laying in bed and you wake up and you see that shadow in the corner and you're trying to focus your eyes and realize, is there someone standing in my room or is that just clothes on the chair?
Yeah.
And in the book, finding out the way that came through in the book was so that still keeps me up at night sometimes. Whereas the movie, I love him as an actor. I really thought the movie was well done, but I don't know. I feel like that we could have done more with that and the ending, but
yeah.
But again, Mike Flanagan can do no wrong in my mind. So love that man.
Well, I'm at a disadvantage. I read the book but didn't see the movie, so I had a similar problem where I thought, there's no way they could adapt this to film.
Yeah. I think you should give it a shot. I think it's still on Netflix. Just to see what you think of it and let me know because I'm curious. It was a very intriguing book, but again, they just stuck to a bed for a whole, And I like that Mike Flanagan uses the same actors. Like I'm a sucker for that. It makes me happy when he keeps putting the same actors in all of his movies.
Sure.
Pisses some people off, but I enjoy it. Yeah, watch it just to know what you think about it.
That's not an unusual thing either. I mean,
It's like Adam Sandler movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, directors and just
Like
filmmakers in general. They get a group of people that they work well with, and then they continue to work with them.
And they just keep. But I love that. I think it makes me happy to see the same family back again in different, different iterations. But I don't know. I feel like talking about the bad movies is somebody else should talk because I don't want to get into In the Tall Grass, which I thought was terrible. I'm looking at
In the Tall Grass, another one I did not see.
I mean, it's a short story, and it's a short story written by Stephen and Joe Hill.
Okay.
And I saw the movie before I read the book in that case, which is not usually the way I do things. Weirdly, I can read the book and then see the movie anytime. But if I see the movie first, I tend not to go for the book because I think I just already have their pictures in my mind. I don't know. But as I watched the movie, I went, wow, this would probably make a much better book. It just doesn't translate as well. And I was right. Did you like the movie?
I don't think I saw it.
I
never saw it. I was actually going to watch that one this week, but I didn't get to it.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
In the Tall Grass.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I know what it's about.
It's just, I think
I haven't got to that one yet.
Movie, and it's about a couple pulls off the side of the road and hears somebody in distress in the cornfields or in the tall grass, and they go in or she goes first, and then they just tend to like wander around aimlessly for the rest of their lives looking for a way out, and then everybody hears this one crying, and I don't know, it's
got Patrick what's his face?
Oh,
guy from The Conjuring.
I love
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson. I'm not gonna lie, I fucking hate that movie.
That's what I was saying. I
fucking hate that movie.
Or did you read the story? I should say.
I didn't do either, but I probably should have because I got into that and I was like, this movie blows. Like, what is?
Yeah.
I couldn't make heads or tails of it. I'm like, this is fucking dumb. Like, sorry.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, and that was a case where I saw the movie first and then thought, well, I don't know. It's a short story, so I went back and read that, and it's definitely better than what they did with that movie.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Was it Shudder or Netflix?
I think
it's a Netflix one. I think
that's what I thought. Yeah. I was like, I tried to watch it.
It's bad.
It got a lot of praise. Like it got a lot of. I didn't see what the big deal was.
No, I thought it was convoluted and didn't really. I don't know. I was not impressed with that.
Right there with you. So where do we end at? Sorry, I had to go downstairs and see my wife and get a beer and then come back upstairs. So where do we end at?
I was babbling, so whoever's next. I do that.
Well, I guess I'm gonna move. Let me move you down here, Mike, so Clint can go next because I'm getting go. No, Mike, go.
Want me to go?
Yeah. No, hold on. Clint's offended. Let's put you up here.
I don't give a shit.
All right, go, Clint. Now, go. Go, and I moved your ass. Now, go.
Oh, my God.
See, I can do this shit. That's what.
All right.
That's what.
He has the power.
I hate that spot anyway because the logo always blocks my beautiful face.
Yeah, this is a shitty place to be.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. Hold on. Fuck me running.
I'm kidding.
On.
Oh,
Boom.
Oh, look at that.
Hold on.
You could have did that the whole time.
Can I move it? I can't move it.
Yeah. You can move it to the middle of my block,
Hold on,
so I have to.
I can't. Fuck that thing. My wife made that.
It's nice. I like it.
It's cool.
It's
It's definitely a cool logo, but yeah, it definitely blocks you through.
I'm just messing around. I can maneuver
Dude,
around. It's not.
You're right. Everybody that was up there, it's like, shit. I can't see.
Last week it wasn't in the box. Last week it was like outside. And
yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I think it might have been the background. That's why I got this pretty badass like blood spatter.
Like, oh, he fixed that.
Yeah.
But I guess not.
No, we got it. We fucking got it. Clint, go.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick one that I remember liking, but now I can't remember why I liked it because it's been so long since I saw it.
Oh, this is gonna be good then.
Yeah. Sometimes they come back.
Whoa. All right.
Yeah.
I didn't
And
that.
it
I haven't
is
seen the movie in years, but I didn't hate it.
right. You know, group of like dead high school kids, you know what I mean, somehow managed to like manifest, you know, in whatever more modern time they're in, you know, with the same car that they were in, and just wreaking havoc in this small town community, and that's about as much as I can remember.
Robert Russler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It had a lot of I don't want to say no names, but yeah, I mean Tim Matheson might have been like Robert Russell. That was like,
I want to say they were like vengeful spirits,
Yes.
you know, and they were looking to get revenge or make things even.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you got it. You hit the nail on the head. Synopsis says a man and his family return to his hometown, where he is then harassed by teenagers who died when he was a kid. So I mean, yeah, right. Hit the nail on the head. And again, you know, I love this. Do you know who the director of this one is? Tom McLaughlin, who directed Friday the 13th, Part 6.
Huh.
So, I mean, yeah. And again, here we go again. You have a director that brings something to the table that, and again, you know, here's the thing. I think when you get a director that can keep a vision, that can keep everything under control, I think you have a amazing movie. You can get an amazing movie. But when it's based on a Stephen King book, it's so easy to fuck it up. I mean, it really is. And I think, again, like I mentioned at the top, you know, taking something verbatim, taking something from, you know, and not to use this analogy, but just because I'm a fan, you know, like anime has manga that's out there that if you take it verbatim and you put it to paper and you draw it, and Dragon Ball Z is a prime example of it, that series does not change from chapter 1 to the fucking very end of it. It's verbatim. So you can watch the anime and go right through it. And it's no different. And I'm like, I get it. I understand the source material, but you couldn't do something just a little bit different. And it was verbatim. Even the script, even the lines were verbatim. But I applaud some of these guys with these Stephen King adaptations because they try to do something different. They try. At least I give them credit for trying. Now, whether you succeed or not, that's a totally different fucking story. But it's the fact that you try to do something, and like I said, whether or not you succeed, that's left to be determined. But yeah, sometimes they come back again. Had a good director.
And there's a third one too. Sometimes they come back even more or something. It's a ridiculous name, but
it's like, I know what you did. It's totally
I'll always know what you did last summer. Yeah. Great, because I don't know what you did the first fucking 2 summers. So I don't care. Wow, Clint, God. You didn't even think that was funny. No, I'm kidding. No, yeah. Sometimes they come back. I actually forgot about that one. I forgot that was a Stephen King fucking story. So kudos for bringing that one up.
Dad from Family Ties, I feel like. I should look that up, but second one was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one though, man. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Good off the wall one. All right.
Yeah.
Spreadsheet.
I'm going Shawshank.
I fucking love that movie.
That's another one of not only Stephen King, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
It's just such a great friggin' movie.
Just watch and last.
I will be honest, I really don't like that movie. No, I'm kidding. That might be.
What are you gonna say about this movie?
There, honest to God, I don't know what you can say. Holy shit!
Hold on, what's with the black T-shirt tonight? Where's the fancy shirt?
Oh well, I got my. Clint knows that one. I got Victim No More.
Bitch. Yeah, you get it. You get a shirt, I got a beanie, man.
Where are you
That
fucking
sucks.
beanie then? Where are you beanie then? Sorry, I was trying to
Oh,
trying to change it up a little bit. I don't want to
find it.
I don't want to be that guy that's like, this motherfucker never does laundry. Why does he always wear the same fucking 3
That's what I
shirts?
thought. I was like, what's it, laundry day?
I have-
Look forward to your
so-
shirt.
It's funny because I have my con shirts apparently. So everybody's like, oh, Don wears those to cons, like my Jason shirt, my Hellraiser shirt. Here you go. See? Hey, and that looks good. That looks all right.
Yeah,
So I mean,
I would have preferred a shirt, but all right.
you know,
I told Clint earlier. If I
don't
look
be a
like
Oompa fucking Loompa and somebody can get you a shirt size.
What
that
are you
will
talking
fit you.
about? Yeah, I know. Yeah, large is such a weird size. He
I
just
told
didn't
Clint
have it.
earlier. I said,
Large my fucking ass, dude. You're like a extra small.
when I look for you guys at Preacher Feature, I'm going to just look for Don's shirt. I told him.
That's all you got to do.
that's what he
That's
said.
all you have to do. I will have.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get.
And
a
it
couple
depends.
more.
It depends who's there, because he'll wear a shirt that coincides with somebody who's at the
As you
con. That
should. I
Yeah,
changed
as
my
you
shirt
should.
3 times
he's-
in one day at New Jersey Horror Con this past
that's
year.
cool.
First of all, and Clint knows I was pissed off at this. So when we went to Fear Fest, I will. He laughs because he knows.
I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
There was a. I had a shirt, the Hawaiian shirt that had like Jason, Freddy, Pinhead, Ghostface, Pennywise, and I was like, this shirt's awesome. So came back the next day because we were there all weekend, and I wore my Hellraiser shirt, right?
Yeah, your Hellraiser.
Yeah,
shirt.
my Hellraiser
Yeah.
shirt. So then we're walking around, and I look
Yeah.
over to
You're like
Felissa
that
Rose's
son of a
line.
bitch is
I'm
wearing
like,
my shirt.
that motherfucker. I just looked straight at Clint. I was like, that motherfucker is wearing my shirt. He said, what? I said, look over there in Felissa Rose's line. He goes, he fucking is. I said, that goddamn poser. I said, I did it first.
Yeah.
I don't even care. I did it first. And the whole time, like, I'm just watching. I'm like, there the motherfucker goes. There he goes. I'm like, you know what? It's all right, because I tell you what, ain't nobody got this Hellraiser shirt on. And if I ever go to a con where they have any of those, the Jaws shirt, the Hellraiser shirt, Jason shirt, I will rip it off their back and I'll wipe my ass with it because
Oh my
that is
God.
not cool. Like, I did it first. Anyway, yes. Let's get back on subject. Yes. Not only probably the best Stephen King adaptation, probably one of the best fucking movies like ever. I mean,
Well, it
really,
didn't do it at the box office, did it? It was a flop. And
it was. It was when
It was
hit,
only on video.
Yep,
but
it just took off, and it's got a stacked cast. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's got Morgan Freeman in it. That right there. But you got Tim Robbins, you got William Sadler, you got Clancy Brown. I mean, there are actually William Sadler's going to be in the remake of Salem's Lot, which I'm okay with because I like William Sadler. He was awesome in Die Hard too.
Lovely.
What
I'm guessing it'll be the Jeffrey Lewis role, will he?
Probably. I would imagine.
Roughly equivalent.
I would imagine definitely. Mark Ralston was in this one. Did you say you broke down in an elevator with him?
No, I said I rode an elevator with him and he was lovely.
Oh, well. Yeah. Oh, William Sadler's playing Barlow. Well, goddamn.
Wow.
Oh.
I would not
Thank you, Adam Backus, you fucker. Why don't you just come in here? Because you were awesome last week. Oh, I put the wrong one. There you go.
Yeah.
Clancy Brown.
Yeah, I was going to
Clancy
ask
Brown.
why he's just out there watching and commenting.
Mr. Krabs. Always do that when we talk Clancy Brown. Always. Because he does Mr. Krabs and nobody remembers he does Mr. Krabs.
Love him.
I liked him in Pet Semetary too, which, oh boy, I don't know if we can talk about that because that wasn't a real thing. Now that and
yeah,
we'll get to that. How do I? Jesus Christ! Hold on, Adam would like to join us.
Oh,
I would like to.
So you have to send him a link.
I do. This is fucking fun. Abby, you being here is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Thrilled.
Great. Thanks for coming by.
Well,
sorry about that.
God damn, Clint. Bless you.
I probably should have mic'd instead of just turning the camera off.
Clint, I have a surprise I'm going to tell you, and you're going to get mad at me.
I'm going to get mad?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Actually, everybody might. So we're going to end this at 9, but we're going to come back in if you
Okay.
guys want to, because we are going to do a quick review of Voorhees Night of the Beast with one of the stars, Olivia Disney, who plays Chrissy, and we're going to come back in. She wanted to do this. I asked her earlier.
You bastard.
I know, right? But Voorhees right now is just so like, it's amazing. So what we'll probably do, and please, I'm pretty sure we can just leave the stream and then you guys can keep talking. Like, I don't want to end it, but I want you guys to keep talking because I can still look at the chat. So I just wanted everybody to know that because we were trying. I was
continue without you. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, because I know you can.
You can handle it without you. We're big people. We're adults. We'll make sure it won't go.
My heart will go on.
Well, fuck. I mean, to leave now. No.
Wow.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I just want to let you guys know that was a surprise. I put on the page. So I think
when you come back, make sure you have a nice shirt on.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fucking sure it's nice. Why don't you wear a nice shirt?
I wear. If you notice, every night I wear a shirt. It's relevant to what we're talking about. But the nice shirts are your thing. That's why I look forward
That's
to
true.
that.
I guess I'm gonna get
I'm wearing
okay.
my happy shirt.
It's a badass shirt.
It's very nice.
Fine. When I come back, I'll have a different shirt and I'll have a better shirt on.
He's gonna be topless.
My titties are gonna be all hanging out.
It's no camera.
I'm like, hey, yeah, right. Be like, you know what? I didn't clean my belly button from this brand new shirt. I mean, I'm just gonna be like, hey guys, look. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna subject anybody to that shit. But yes, Shawshank. God,
And I'll never forget when I first saw that, how like floored I was at the end. You were just really floored.
dude. I mean, it's oh my god, it's goddamn near. It's almost a perfect movie.
Because Tim Robbins doesn't strike you when you're watching it as a person that's going to escape and do what he did.
I like reaction videos, and I'm watching this couple watch these 80s movies for the first time. Never seen, and I watched them watch Jaws, which is again my top 5 all-time favorite movie.
Absolutely. And
they just watched Shawshank, and I love watching people experience that shit for the first time because I wish to God I could experience. But I mean, the way my brain's going, you never know. A couple of years, I might just be like, new friends.
True. When I first watched it, it was something I didn't even think I was gonna like. I was like, and that movie just draws you in the hole, and then like floors you at the end. It's just like, what the
fuck? Yeah. What the fuck?
Perfect.
What do you think, Rob? Perfect movie?
Yeah. Not quite perfect, but very close.
Pretty darn close.
Yeah, I mean, it still leaves you with questions though, because he still could be a stone cold motherfucker. He could shoot Morgan Freeman the minute he sees him. You never quite know.
That's so true. I love, and again, I arguably, I think this is the best. It's the best Stephen King adaptation. It's, I mean, other than maybe it, and man, I don't even know what else comes close to this. I mean,
Stand by Me.
Mystery.
Yeah, that's true.
Stand by Me.
Stand by Me is really good. Green Mile's.
Green Mile brought me to tears.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Hold on, we'll get there. Yeah, we're on Shawshank.
But his best ones maybe aren't necessarily always the horrors.
It doesn't have to be. That's what's so great about it.
That's the thing. It seems to be the ones that draw upon maybe the more historical periods, but humanity rather than with a bit of horror. The horrors of humanity.
Yep.
With a little bit.
Totally agree. That's
the fantastical rather than just the actual horror itself. There's nothing more horrific than humans.
Yeah, you're right.
And what we do to each other.
What do you think, Clint?
I think Shawshank's a piece of shit. And no, I'm kidding.
Can't do that.
Best part of the movie was when he was crawling through all the sewage, throwing up on himself. No.
Wow, fuck. That was the best part? God damn, what was the worst part?
When he was talking. No,
Okay, makes sense.
no, it's a great movie. Absolutely.
It is.
Brooks is the worst part. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
old man.
that's holy shit, that is. Ugh.
It is.
Wow. Well,
That's
I'm gonna be
yeah.
sad the rest of the night. Thanks, Rob.
Way to bring it
Yeah,
down. Thanks a
Yeah,
lot, Rob.
no, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't talk that movie and not bring that part up. I mean, you
Right.
You can't.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And it got worse whenever Red ended up in the same, like apartment.
Yes.
And he saw, the
Brooks was
scratching.
here.
Brooks was here, and he's like,
Yeah.
And,
So was
and Red
Red.
too.
yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us, sir.
Oh, look at this guy.
How's it going?
Going
It's
good,
going
man.
great.
Thanks for hopping in. I'm
Good
like,
to see everybody.
he's just talking. I'm like, I got to bring this motherfucker in. He's talking this. I got to bring him in because you were awesome last time. So yeah, man,
Thanks.
come on back. So yeah, just talk Shawshank. What do you think? Yeah, I love your comments. Shawshank and Lawnmower Man, opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, seriously, right? Like one's like the bargain bin at like Walmart, and the other one's like, an Oscar contender.
You're right.
Couldn't get-
I mean, you're right.
I think that perfectly encapsulates Stephen King.
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
would definitely so. You
One or
either-
the other, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to use that analogy.
I don't think there's
any
any idea that he ever had that he didn't commit to paper.
I mean, when you're on cocaine, what else are you supposed to do? Put that
I
pen.
love that he doesn't remember writing half.
That's true. That's true. It's like, God damn, dude, you don't remember writing any of these movies, but or any of these books, and then these movies
Maximum
come out,
Overdrive, he has no recollection of directing.
and yet that movie is fucking awesome. Emilio Estevez rocked that movie. Rocked it.
he remembers cashing the checks though.
Oh yeah, he remembers going to the bank and dropping them checks off without a fucking doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt.
All the residuals.
Yeah, and the royalties and everything. Like, fuck, that dude's a goddamn billionaire still today, and he ain't, hasn't done barely anything. Yes, Shawshank, definitely, Mike, without a doubt. Again, arguably, probably not that big of an argument, but I think probably one of, if not the best, Stephen King adaptation from a book to a movie. I mean, it's hard to argue that because the movie itself is just so fucking great. And yet again, I want to point this out. Look at the director. You have Frank Darabont. Again, we've talked about it all night. You have Darabont. You have McLaughlin with Christine. Or I'm sorry. Sometimes they come back, and you got John Carpenter with Christine. If you get the right director, you can make this shit work. It really doesn't matter like what the story is, what it is, who's in it. You can make it work. But the fact that this movie had Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman blew the fucking doors off anything that anybody else could have done. And Clancy Brown still.
I mean,
That's so good.
Go, Rob. Yeah. Go,
arguably,
Rob.
I think Darabont is the best Stephen King director. And then he took that and they didn't use him again. He took that into a different horror, created The Walking Dead. Look at that. That's like the biggest franchise of the last,
Yeah.
10, decade.
10 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
it's
it's
without
like,
a doubt.
but they cut him out after the first season, but he won his case and he's made absolutely a fortune out of it. And it's all based the same formula that's in Shawshank, that's in Green Mile, that's in The Mist. It's all there.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right.
And those are big name actors that don't distract me.
See, and and again, I mean, Morgan Freeman, as Ellis, it was just, I mean, it's just one of those things, man. You just, it's not distracting. It's really not. And I think that's a testament to, again, how Darabont directed it, and how they acted it. It was just like, It's just goddamn near perfect. I love that movie. I really do. It's such a great movie. It's not perfect, but man, it's probably the perfect Stephen King adaptation. I'll give you that without a doubt. I mean, it's goddamn, it's close to the perfect one. Okay, so Rob, I know it's getting late for you. I'm going to let you go next, and then if you need to skedaddle, go for it. But yeah, you can go, man.
Just an update. I was originally going to use The Running Man, but I think we covered everything except the remake is coming, and it's going to be an Edgar Wright movie. Would you believe?
I love
Holy
it.
shit.
Right.
Okay.
I love it. I'm in.
Okay.
And
So,
Simon
yeah, I
Simon
think
Pegg is going to be the Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
I'm okay with that. I can do that.
I can well believe it. If so, I can well believe it. And you know, I think I'd be cool with that.
I would too.
But I can also see it being, you know, very much reality TV based of today, and
Scares me, man.
you know,
It really does.
so
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be fun. But there is actually, I can't remember the name of it offhand, but there is a French movie that was actually around in like the early 70s, I think 1971, that was basically The Running Man, the concept of it as per the book. So I think Stephen King might have borrowed a little bit from that when he wrote the book. Potentially.
What?
Because he stole.
But
He
yeah.
didn't steal any ideas from anybody.
You know, that was their first. There was this friend, and it's literally they could go anywhere in the world, and they get hunted and stuff like that. So
What is it, Abby?
Prize of Peril.
Yeah, Prize of Peril. That's it. Yeah.
Or Le Prix du Danger, if you say it in French.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we don't do that.
Any
'cause
French listeners we have, if you
I
don't listen to our
apologize.
podcast anymore, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Abby just completely ruined that fucking part of the world for us. Because
Okay.
okay, it's okay.
But yeah, the one I was going to pick was Apt Pupil,
Oh.
I liked
Ooh,
Apt
boy,
Pupil.
That's
which was obviously a short story, but then they made it in 2000. Now it is Bryan Singer, so he's obviously not the world's most famous favorite director anymore. But
it's got Ian McKellen in it, so how can it
It's
be?
got-
it's got Ian McKellen in it.
Brad
So,
Renfro was a great little actor.
Brad Renfro
Yeah.
was amazing.
In
It's
this,
got
definitely.
it's got a young David Schwimmer in it too. In case anybody was
Well,
remember that one.
he was well into Friends by then, so you know it's.
That's true.
I think this was going to be his attempt at breaking out into doing serious drama.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
And
this was 98. I forgot how late this one
I think
was.
it's 2000.
And Dowd
It's-
can do anything.
Is it 2000?
Can love her.
Yeah, I think it's quite. It's a bit
98.
later,
It's
isn't it?
damn close.
Yeah,
It's definitely late. If anything, it's definitely
Yeah.
late 90s.
It's 98.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's 98. Okay, then yeah. So yeah, it's so he's well into Friends by then, but yeah, it's just they changed quite a bit from the book, particularly the ending, but it's very much in the book he ends up sniping at people on the freeway and killing people. But in the book, basically, he sees a Nazi war criminal on the bus and starts blackmailing him into hearing about all these stories. And there's this one scene that's just really electric where he buys a uniform and makes him put it on. And he just that minute when it clicks, McKellen's mind clicks back into it, and it just goes back into it.
Going
Yeah.
into the
And the muscle memory kicks back in, and it even freaks him out, and you just and he gets the little smirk on his face, like he knows that he's won the battle now, and he's back in charge.
That's actually got a really badass DVD cover to it. If you look at it, like it's got like Ian McKellen behind. And it's like, damn, that is ominous as shit.
Yeah. I mean, at the time, I didn't even know it was a Stephen King.
And you know what? Not a lot of people do,
made me
man.
buy it. That was what made me buy it. That cover, and
it's a novella.
Yeah,
So it's like,
and that was what made me buy it. So, and I mean, this was right when it came out. So, we're talking 20 years ago over here in the UK. So
Right.
22 years ago. So, and yeah, I just from there, obviously, I really watched it. But for me as well, there's that, and the best bit is the last bit when he just at the end when he's saying to Schwimmer, and he's like, "It won't go away." The things I'm going to say, not for you. And he's basically going to, if you screw me over, I'm going to basically call you a child abuser. And
fucking good. God, it is.
And it's just like, and the guy is just like, genuinely just like, what the
fuck? Yeah.
And he just knows, he's like, Jesus, what the hell? He knows exactly what he's gotten into.
Oh yeah.
He's like, holy shit. It's just gone all kinds of evil. And obviously the fact that I think he's playing a Jew as well makes it even worse, because it's like what he stumbled into just by pure accident is going to be like completely destructive to him, and the guy's going to end up probably needing therapy for the rest of his life just by coming into contact with this kid and this old man.
Right.
And it's just completely bonkers that this random encounter on a bus would go so far, and just how evil people can actually be if with just a little pushing, and you meet the wrong person at the wrong time. And now these sort of terms, gaslighting, and they're terms now, they're in our everyday use.
Yep.
Politicians do it on a regular basis, and it's almost accepted.
Buzzword.
And buzzwords, and part of the lexicon. And we recognize it now. If people are doing it, we call it out. But back then, nobody ever would have known it or recognized it or thought of it. And
now, here's an interesting fact before me and Clint hop off and go do our other thing. So, you would not believe who plays a paramedic in this movie. Maybe you would. So, Kevin Spirtus, who played Nick in Friday the 13th, Part 7, the main boyfriend to Tina, is a paramedic in this movie.
Cool.
There it is.
Now, again, this is 98, so this is,
Elias Cookies. I love that man.
that dude's awesome.
Oh,
That dude's
he is
amazing.
great.
I need to meet him. He's on my list of people.
Yeah.
He's on your bucket list.
He's on my list.
I love him from Prophecy.
Yeah, fucking stole the words out of my mouth. Prophecy's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm removing you, Clint. Let's see what happens when I remove me if we die.
Let's see if
Bye,
we
Clint.
die.
Get out. Yeah, let's see if we...
Did we die? We didn't die.
no, we're still here.
All right, you guys are
All right,
we're
so
still talking?
so do your thing. Nicole said she's at her brother's. She might hop on. So Mike, I mean, I don't want to leave anybody in charge, but motherfucker, you got spreadsheets. So how am
really?
I
Like
gonna-
I'm not good enough to be in charge?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying I don't want anybody feeling
You
inferior.
would think the guy with the spreadsheet should be in charge. I mean, it's just
I agree with
common
that.
knowledge.
That's usually how it goes.
Fine.
You know
Okay.
you want my spreadsheets.
All right. Well then, do your spreadsheets. We'll be back soon. All right, guys.
All right.
Fun.
Right.
Yeah, have fun.
And you know what the problem with these movies is? There's some that I've seen so long ago. I know I've seen them. I know I like them. But to refresh and watch them, like some of them are like 6 hours. A lot of them are like
And some of them are
miniseries.
sure.
It's not an easy watch during the week. So I was like looking for movies that are like just regular movie length movies that I could watch.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of them are just a chore to watch as well.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, they
Like-
try.
Stephen King films in general, you mean?
Ooh,
Yeah, just some of them are just not good.
Yeah. I mean, they really run the gamut between like I said, like some of the greatest horror movies that you can find to like absolute trash, you know?
Yeah.
a lot of shit, and I'm sorry, but I love Sleepwalkers. I do. I love it. It's ridiculous, and I love it.
I just watched that the other night.
Ridiculous, and I understand that, but I love it.
And it's hysterical how like they could do everything and then just the cat just jumps on them and like kicks the shit out of them. It's
They'll kill you.
I kind of think the soundtrack makes that movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a
You know,
great-
if you take the music out of that, I don't think it would be as like haunting. I mean, it's kind of a ridiculous movie, but like I'm not gonna say I haven't seen it like
multiple times.
multiple times. You know,
Same. It's just you're flipping through the channels. Just
the
the
weird,
other day.
yeah, the weird incest cat vampire movie that everybody just can't change the channel from.
Exactly. And what's her face? Who was the mom? Why am I blanking on her name? I gotta look this up now.
Alice Krieg.
It was Alice Krieg. Okay. Ridiculous.
I can see her face, but oh yeah, right. That's who it was.
Yeah.
What about Silver Bullet?
Silver
Silver
Bullet
Bullet.
to me is just a fun. I think again, this is nostalgia. This is something I watched as a child that I loved so much. So I feel like, is it a good movie? Probably not, but I love it. It makes me happy.
You got, I mean,
Gary
Gary
fucking-
Busey.
You got Gary Busey as the
He-
coolest alcoholic uncle of all time.
Fuck yes.
'Cause
I'm
that's
number
me
2.
with my niece and nephew.
Oh yeah,
I'm like the type that'll do
Right.
shit like that with them. But that's great, and that's like one of those movies, like Abby, like you were saying before. You could go back in, because when I first saw that, and the priest turned around and he had the patch on his
Eye
eye,
patch. Yep.
I was like, the fucking priest. I was like, you wish you could go back and get that
And just
feeling again.
Experience it for the first time again. I mean, that's why I'm loving these reaction videos and these, these movies that I've seen so many times. So my nephew
got
just
it.
watched Jaws for the first time. He's 14, and we tried to hook it up so that we could watch the movie together because they live in Florida. But we just text through it. It was easier, and he jumped at all the right spots because every time that the spots. And I text my brother. He's like, "Yep, he totally jumped." I was like, "All right, good."
good.
But Silver Bullet's a fantastic little ridiculous movie. It's fun. It's like a fairy tale.
I always thought it was kind of like if Amblin Entertainment from the 80s
Yes.
made a werewolf movie.
Yes.
Like instead of like a happy little alien or something, it was a werewolf. And like the only thing to me, like I love Silver Bullet, but like obviously a lot of people clown on what the werewolf looks like at the end. Because he kind of looks like Smokey the Bear. But like
Well, maybe only you can prevent forest fires.
right. But do you remember like the church scene where it's like a dream, but like and everybody in the church starts turning into werewolves?
Mm-hmm.
Like those effects were really good.
I thought they were awesome. Yeah.
And I
for
not that
85
long ago found out that the reason for that was Rob Bottin, like the guy who did all the effects for The Howling. He did the effects for the church scene.
Oh.
But
that
that was it. Like that was the only thing he touched in the whole movie. And I'm just like, why? Why didn't they let him do like the effects for like the whole, like if he did the effects for the whole movie, I think that this movie would be like
one of the
held in
greats.
higher regard
Yeah.
than it actually is. I don't know.
But again, and that's one of those that falls in that sweet spot of nostalgia for me, that I've seen it so many times since I was a kid. And obviously everybody, it was 85, so I was 12. It was perfect. He was like Corey Haim for crying out loud.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, what's his face? I'm looking up his name because I'm blanking on it. Everett McGill, Reverend Lowe.
He's scarier than the werewolf.
He's scarier than the werewolf. That's
like him
guy
stalking him with
always
the eye
looks-
patch. Like in the barn.
Isn't
when
he
he did
he's people under the stairs guy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
In Twin Peaks. I think he was in
Twin Peaks, yeah. Yeah, weirdly, both of them people under the stairs were anyway, it doesn't matter. But I don't know. I didn't hate the werewolf, to be honest with you. I didn't.
Hold on.
I don't know.
Hello.
I'm probably gonna have to end this because I don't think I can do 2 at one time.
You
All right.
calling it up.
Please fucking don't. Mike is in charge. Yeah, I want Mike to be in charge. But but I think this thing's gonna be a pain in my ass and not let me do 2 things at one time. So, if we end this now, come back.
Well, when do you think? What? 20 minutes? Half hour?
Should be about
Hour?
it'll probably be a half hour.
We'll call it at like 9:30. Come back.
Yep, come back 9:30.
All right, man. We'll be back.
I'll be
Awesome.
here.
All right, guys.
He'll be
Yeah.
waiting.
We'll be
Bye.
waiting.
Okay, bye.